What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Tesseract by Subtronics. I've been a fan of Subtronics for years, so I really had an urge to talk about this album because he is just one of those bass artists that when he releases something, the whole world has to stop to listen because he is one of those few artists in the bass scene and the EDM scene that pushes the boundaries of what is possible within the genres. And Tesseract is a testament for that. And I also like it because it has a lot of collaborations, a lot of great singers. It is a huge album. It is 16 songs, which I'm really surprised by. It is the same length as his first album, Fractals, but I have to say that this new era also focuses on a lot of different new sounds and just experimenting with new different artists with different kind of styles of music. There's a little bit of rap in there, there's heavy dubstep, there's a lot of different things going on that I'm really excited to talk about. I just really want to talk about this Tesseract album because it is just beautiful. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over each one of the singles from the first one that was released that last year to the ones that were released before the album, and then I'm going to go over each one by one and give my thoughts about each one of the songs because they were just really good. And yeah, let's go into the album, starting with the first single.
Mind Pluck. What the fuck?
So the Tesseract era starts with Mind Pluck, which was released in August of last year with Hall. And Hall is just one of those artists that is just destroying everything because he is just amazing. He's been releasing a lot of collaborations. He had a really amazing, his song Country Rhythm became really viral last year, and his growth has been amazing. And I'm really proud of him because I've been listening to him since his Disciple days. I think he released an EP at Disciple a couple of years ago, which was really good. And yeah, this song with Subtronics is really good. I feel like his style, that chunky whole kind of distinct style, is present throughout the song, also present in the Marshmallow song he released, and that is something that is just really good. I feel like this one is just really chunky, like I said before, really powerful, and also has a lot of this Subtronics experimental sound throughout the song, kind of the really weird production style mixed with a chunky whole style, and that's something I enjoyed. I like this one. It was a great start to the song, and yeah, I really liked Mind Pluck. Now we got a heavy hitter in this album, Asteroid with Excision. This is their second collaboration together. Excision, like everybody knows, is one of the biggest names in the bass world, and Asteroid is a really great follow-up to their first collaboration, Bunker Buster. And I have to say this one is much better than the first one. This one continues the style of each one in amazing ways. It's really heavy, it's really powerful, but also it's much more the Subtronic style of the song because he has this more experimental style he fuses into the song. Excision is heavier stuff, and this one just kind of has that really interesting and experimental things going on throughout the song. I found myself surprised, and then suddenly you're really exposed to this heavy sound that is just amazing, and it just goes back and forth in so many ways. I really like this one. I listened to it a couple times. It has some really funny samples in it, and yeah, Asteroid is just a banger. Now, Omnidirectional is the third single in Tesseract, and this one is really interesting. It, like the name implies, it has this really distinct style you can listen to in a lot of different parts. It's kind of this hard-hitting, heavy, just boom 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 the whole song, and the rhythm is really fun. The song is reminds me of classic Subtronics. Really creative, really powerful, and also gonna take this time to really appreciate the art styles because the art in every single one of these singles has been amazing so far. I feel the whole artistic vision behind all the way from Fractals, but more present in Tesseract, has a really amazing direction for Subtronics' visual art style. I really enjoyed the creepy Cyclopses and the CPs, but I feel this new direction of crazy mind-destroying visuals is really fun and really welcome too. So yeah, I wanted to take this time to appreciate that. And yeah, Omnidirectional is just one example of that. It's just really fun to listen to. You can imagine this going on in your mind while you're listening to the song. It has some really distinct different areas that just play with your emotions and your sense of what is possible in music so well. And that is why I enjoyed this song so much. Now we have Black Ice with Rez. And as many people know, Rez is also a really big name in the EDM scene. She is an amazing artist, and I feel like her first collaboration with Subtronics, Puzzle Box, was really surprising, really fun to listen to, and Black Ice continues that style that both excel at. This one has kind of like a softer feel, like more experimental, like kind of like hits different, and it just makes you realize like they both try to experiment more with the song. And towards the end, there's a second drop that plays really well into the first drop in really amazing ways. Like it's kind of like a more house style, like more bouncy. And I just like that. I feel like it was a really nice change of pace. And yeah, the song is pretty amazing. I really enjoyed Black Ice, and I really liked every single song so far. I feel like he didn't really disappoint with this one. And yeah, I'm really excited to go over the full album. But first, we have another single. Following Black Ice, we have Insidious with Grab It, and this song has a lot of second collaborations with a lot of different artists because this is also their second collaboration. The first song was released with Fractals, it's called Into Pieces, and I have to say that I like that one a little bit better, but this one also didn't disappoint. I feel like Insidious is much more heavier than Into Pieces. It has some really like darker melodies, it has some really heavy production. I think it's also like one of the heaviest songs of the album, like not counting Asteroid, but this one just like it crashes really hard, it's really powerful, it hits amazing, and yeah, I just really like this one. I feel like this one also Gravitz's voice shines in every song he is in, but in this one it's just like really fun to listen to because of, you know, Subtronics' influence. So yeah, I like this one, it's really powerful, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And last but not least, we have Alien Communication. And sorry, I said it was the last single before, but this is the actual single. It was released a day before the full album, and I have to say it was just really good too. Alien Communication is also a song that is really soft and experimental. Like it has some really haunting vocals on the background, like a woman singing. It's like really soft, really like there's a really awesome melody, and then it goes into like a house drop and then a fake out, which is like becomes heavy. And that's something I really enjoyed. This is like also another testament of Subtronics' creativity with the song. And yeah, it just goes into like a really fun rhythm later on. I like this one. I think it was really creative. And now that we've gone over the full 6 singles released before Tesseract, we're ready to go over the full album, start to finish. So Tesseract starts with Cottage Gore, and this song is just really interesting. It's really beautiful. It's a perfect introduction to the album from the beginning. It has like some really interesting like music box thing going on, like da 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 da. Like it's really fun to listen to, and it's just like that classic Subtronic style, like really cool, playful style that mixes with heavy dubstep, and that's something we see throughout the whole album. But I feel like this one just like prepares you to what's going to come after, and yeah, I think it's a really good and solid song. Now we have Only Star You See with Caitlin Scarlett, and this one is, well, really an experimental song. It's kind of like DMB, but also like a really soft kind of DMB. It's kind of like more, you know, like I said before, experimental. It kind of reminds me like of other artists that focus on IDM, but this one like more focused on the bass side of things, obviously, because of like, you know, for festivals, for like listening to with the other songs. But this one is just like really interesting. I thought it was a really cool style of IDM and mixed with DMB, mixed with like, you know, Subtronics' classic bass style. But yeah, I really like this one, and I think it's going to become one of my favorites.
They must have amnesia. They forgot that I'm him. We smoking symbiote.
Now we have Amnesia, which I could consider like another one of the like Subtronics classic meme songs, because this one is just one of those songs that goes viral because of the samples, and this one has some really hilarious samples. From the "he must have amnesia, they forgot who I am," I feel like from the end like to the end it's just like really fun, like mixed with heavy dubstep drops with, you know, like interesting like things going back with the samples. But I like this one because of those reasons. I feel like these kind of Subtronic songs really are entertaining a lot of the time, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it a lot.
Starting off pushing me up with the G. She said she love me, don't know what it mean. Styling out, pushing me, what be the G? She said she don't me go nowhere me.
Now we have two really interesting songs because these two involve like rappers that go into the song, like add some verses, some really interesting styles on it. And the first one of those two is probably my favorite. It is Afternoon Coffee Slide featuring Ronzo. And Afternoon Coffee is just really interesting and fun. It has like obviously rap, it has like bass, like more like classic wubs, if you want to call it that way. And also like the piano on it, I like the I feel like that kind of style in the song is just really fun and interesting to listen to. And yeah, this one is one of my favorites in the album too. I think it just adds like a really interesting like style that also like pays homage to a lot of the other different genres, like rap, kind of like mixed with bass, and also like classic dubstep. So yeah, this one is definitely a really good addition to the album.
That's why I'm spit racks on a jacket. I'm about to take over the scene. I'm about to take over the planet.
Now, Parabola Paradox, Slap It, Feed, Quang Face. I feel like this one is very similar to Afternoon Coffee, but also it's like a little bit more playful. Like I said before, Afternoon Coffee is my favorite out of the two, but this one is just like also really fun and really interesting. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Then we got a couple of the singles that were already released, Alien Communication and Asteroid. And now we're at the halfway point with Interface Wheel. Interface Wheel is another fun song. I like this one. It's more like classic Subtronics. It's solo. It's kind of like those songs that you listen to, but also like it doesn't have any like featured artists, featured guests. I feel like this one could have stood out more if it had something going on, but I like those like original Subtronics songs. But for example, Cottagecore, I feel like it was good. Amnesia, obviously, I thought it was hilarious, the whole sample thing. But this one, I feel like there was really nothing that stuck me to it, but it doesn't mean it's a bad song. I just feel like there was something in it that made me like go back to it over again. But yeah, I feel like this halfway point throughout the album is just really good. And the second half starts pretty solid with Dreams, Plasma Reflex featuring Crooked Banks. Now, I have to say that Dreams is also one of my favorite songs in the album because it is just so fun and so unique. I feel like it has some really interesting production style, like the house thing going on. It's like another really soft Subtronic song. And I love that he goes into these different genres. House, kind of like pseudo D&B, more IDM on the side of things, because he's a really creative artist, and just the way he fuses genres, he mixes with different singers, different producers, allows some really interesting things to happen. And this one is just one example of that. This is a really smooth song, one that I hear myself listening to a lot of times in the future. And yeah, I put that really high on the ranking of this album. Now we have another solo Subtronic song. This one is called Reality Distortion. I feel like similar to Interface Wheel, there should have been like more things that made me want to go back to the song, but this one has a really chunky drop like towards the end that reminds me of Mind Pluck with Hall. So I like this one a little bit more than Interface Wheel. Again, it doesn't mean there's bad songs in the album, but I also feel like there should have been more stuff that made me want to go back to these songs, like aside from like interesting production, because each song just is really well done. That's something I have to mention, that each one is just really amazing. But there are some of these, like for example, like a feature producer or feature artist that is just really amazing. So anyways, but I like this one. It doesn't mean I didn't like it. So anyways, on to the next one, Insidious featuring Grabbits. I already talked about that one. And now we got Quantum Queso. Okay, now we have a really fun song in our hands. Quantum Queso, from the name alone, you realize this song is just gonna be really fun and interesting, and like the samples in this one are also hilarious, like in Amnesia. This one has some really interesting samples on it, like the kids screaming, like really took me a little while to assimilate into the song, but honestly, when I started listening to it, I also realized like how good it is, like from a production standpoint. The bass that goes back and forth just make it a really interesting and amazing song that I hear myself listening to in the future. I just like this one. I think it's just just really funny, like one of the funny Subtronics song. And yeah, it's just really welcome. I feel like Quantum Case is just a banger. But anyways, now going forward, we have Mind Pluck, Black Ice, and Omnidirectional. 3 bangers, one after the other. I also feel like Omnidirectional is just really interesting, and like the kind of like experimental elements work really well in the song, and that's something I gotta praise from it. Finally, the album is capped off with Buried Alive featuring Jem Cook, and this is a great way to cap off the album. This song also became a really great one in my ranking. I feel like Buried Alive just kind of like pays a homage to like classic dubstep, where, you know, like with the wub style, you know, that kind of like stuff really hits hard with me. I like that. It makes me really nostalgic for the old days of dubstep. It also has like the whole breaks thing going on that I really enjoy. I feel like this one just like really pays homage to older styles of EDM, but like there are a lot of different artists, and also Jem Cook's vocals on the background like add a really like interesting ominous layer to the song. And yeah, I think it's a really way to cap off the album. I feel like overall it's pretty solid. I feel like each song really has its place. Even though it's 16, it's considered to be pretty long for an album, but Subtronics is pretty much a legendary name in the scene. I think everything he touches turns into gold at this point. So yeah, I really like the album a lot. I'm gonna give it an 82 out of 100. I liked it much more than Fractals. Well, you're gonna have to hold me on that one, because honestly, I want to go revisit that album because I liked a lot of the songs in it. I just didn't really listen to it that much, but I feel like I'm gonna hear a lot of Tesseract in the future. And also need to go listen to Anti-Fractals too, because that had a lot of great new songs, and I didn't review them, but I also, doesn't mean I didn't like them. I just really enjoyed them. And yeah, anyways, those are pretty much all my thoughts. So anyways, on this channel, I'm going to go over a lot of more albums in the future. This one is just a really nice one. 16 songs. I thought it was pretty huge. And yeah, obviously, I don't have anything else to say. So anyways, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you like EDM, follow me. I'm going to be covering a lot of that. Mostly melodic bass, but some other genres of music are not out of the question, such as this one, which focuses more on heavier styles of dubstep. So anyways, that's pretty much everything for today. So I'll see you guys around on the next time. Goodbye.